Good afternoon to all the dignitaries present in this webinar. I welcome Professor Sultan Ahmad Ismail sir, a great Indian scientist, for this webinar program. I welcome Senior Regional Director Dr. K. Panneerselvam sir, who is instrumental for conducting this webinar. I welcome you, sir. I welcome all the Regional Center Chennai staff members and learners for attending this program. I request our Senior Regional Director, Dr. K. Panneerselvam sir, for presidential address. Thank you, sir.
A very good afternoon, and at the outset, I would like to place on record my sincere thanks and respects to Professor Ismail, who has I know him for almost more than 2 decades. He's one of the very luminaries in the state, not only in the state of Tamil Nadu, also in the whole country. I'm fortunate to listen to him in one of the programs where I have organized it when I was in the state government on deputation. So that EDI institute in Guindy. Guindy, I invited him, and I know this session is going to be of very, very informative, and it will be a very knowledgeable program, very useful going to be. Our hearty welcome to you, sir, Professor Ismail.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And this program today we are organizing as a part of our Swachhata Ki Seva. That is a Government of India initiative. Under special campaign 3.0, we are organizing series of programs. You may be knowing that this campaign on the Swachhata Ki Seva was conducted in the previous years also as 2.0, but this time we are conducting it as 3.0, and 4.0 also going to be there. So under this 3.0, the Government of India has taken the initiative to involve all ministries of the Government of India in undertaking certain activities, specific activities with the timelines and the focus areas. So as per the direction of the Government of India, the Department of Higher Education, under that IGNOU is coming, we have been also advised to conduct series of programs. And this campaign has started on 15th of September last month. This was launched by the government, and also from 2nd October onwards, we have been implementing this in different phases. In different phases we are implementing, and the timeline given to us to have a evaluation reports on whatever the activities conducted by this program is going to be 14th November to 30th November. So the timeline given for these series of programs is now 30th of October. So that is what, 31st of October, it is the deadline given to us. And particularly this regional center at Chennai of Indira Gandhi National Open University has already organized one program on, in fact, there are 2 areas. I should inform you that there are 2 areas under this special campaign we are focusing on. The area number 1 is that the record management practices, and some identifying some such campaign sites in the form of institutionalizing this. And in fact, these are all the high visibility campaign sites where we are supposed to share the best practices with these institutions, and adapting the mechanism of cleaning the practice. So this is what we are aiming at doing, and that is number 1. Under that, we have recently invited one senior professor who was in charge of the documentation division of the Central Leather Research Institute at Chennai, that is a CSIR lab. He gave a very impressive program to us. Under this campaign, in fact, we have at regional center have already conducted certain activities. So we have been advised to clear the space which is being given to the government offices in the whole country. and there is a target that we have to achieve. There are so many records maintained in these offices for years together, which are to be weeded out, which are not going to be useful for the institution. By the process, we are going to also free the space um, to be. These are all in a quantifiable way we have done it. In the sense, the number of kilograms of the files, the materials we have weeded out in terms of kilograms. The space in terms of number of square feet of the space we have freed by the this campaign. And how much is the disposed is also going to be the quantifiable output that is also going to be taken into account. So this Chennai we have done almost we have already surrendered the space of around 2,800 square feet of the building, which we were previously used. We are not using it, and also around 2 lakhs money also we have we are able to generate by disposing these scraps or weeding out the records and the other materials which are not not going to be useful for the institution. We are also in the process of wherever the digitization can taken place for the efficient management office practices, and also there is definitely I think definitely it is going to be an environment friendly practices that I think it will be we need not to emphasize this is also going to be so the second activity under this campaign, special campaign 3.0, is about the the under that there is another topic, 7 key Swachhata Hi Seva messages. So that is the second one. Under that there are 7 points they are given. Point number 1 is 2-pin system for source segregation. So that is the point number 1. Point number 2 is reduce, reuse, and recycle. I think today's topic, I think Professor Ismail will be talking about maybe making his presentation on this reduce, reuse, recycle, and single-use plastic alternatives. That is number 3. Number 4 is zero waste events. Number 5 is clean public toilets. And number 6 is no red spots, yellow spots. And finally, the 7th point is adapting lifestyle for environment. That is called life actions. So these are the areas under that we have been doing it, and we have been documenting whatever we are doing. And today also we'll be happy to know that our university has identified those regional centers, particularly 3 regional centers, Chennai and Trivandrum and Kochi, supposed to be located in the seashore areas. So we have to also now identify special spots and conduct campaigns with the support of the students and other stakeholders. So that is how this scheme is going, and we thought no other than Professor Ismail, who is a member of the State Planning Commission. I think you can understand it is equal to the rank of a state minister. So I am very much thankful to you, sir, for your kind acceptance immediately and sparing your valuable time with us. So I am very much grateful to you, and we know that you are one of the very illustrious professors of New College Chennai. We were having one of the biggest study centers of IGNOU in New College.
Yeah, it was.
It was there, and where we are having a number of programs, and we are very happy to have you, sir, and we are very eager to listen to you.
Thank you.
Without taking much of time, may I now request Professor Ismail to commence his presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and I'm very happy. Thanks to Dr. Paneerselvam, Dr. Zarina, and all the students who have assembled over here. I'm so happy to share the presentation. The only problem is with this online teaching, having been teaching for a long time, I sometimes feel that the real essence of teaching does not come online. We'll try to do our maximum. All of you are definitely younger to me, so children, let us go through a journey of ecology, complete ecology, so that we have an idea as to what is what and how things are. So I'm going to talk to you about sustainable living the way forward. And I'm happy to share with you that this is my 50th year of teaching. And I enjoy teaching. And this is my 50th year. Everybody talks about climate change. And you know, the moment you talk about climate change, children, people create bombastic views. They use various languages. They say that soil restoration, then land restoration, water, lake restoration, all this restoration business appears to be fast to me as an ecologist. Because supposing you see a person, this person who is traveling on a two-wheeler meets with an accident and his leg is amputated. If I can give back his original leg, that is restoration. Can I give back the original leg? Impossible. Impossible. So what do? I give a wooden leg, and that is rehabilitation. So children, first important thing which you must have in mind is, when people say that I'm going to restore the forest, we human beings cannot restore a forest. We can only rehabilitate. Nature restores itself. And that is done by a process called as mitigation. Mitigation is where we are trying to, like today we are meeting with each other, sharing our problems, and that is mitigation. Adaptation is, I just don't care whatever happens. I don't care. That is adaptation. So, you know, like, I know that this is a regional center, so I have to use English. Otherwise, I would have even spoken along with Tamil. The United Nations has brought in Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Because I work with soils, I'll be slightly biased towards it. I have been working with waste management and all those activities. So, you know, like when you start looking at Sustainable Development Goals, certain things which attracted me most are, by 2030, nutritious and sufficient food for all. I have my own doubts, but I'm sharing my information with you. By 2030, nutritious and sufficient food for all. The second, end all forms of malnutrition, because there's a lot of stunting and wasting in children under 5 years of age in our country. There's lots of problems that are existing. How all we can try to work out, and how all we can try to be protective to our own people of this country. I think you children should start working on those activities as well. The third, very ambitious, double the agricultural productivity and incomes. That is where, you know, like Professor Swaminathan's recommendations still not been accepted by any of the governments. So how are we going to improve the incomes of small farmers, producers? By 2030, improve land and soil quality, because we are losing our soil quality. The soil has lost its own quality. And this is what attracts me most. Maintain genetic diversity of seeds, cultivated plants, and farmed and domesticated animals. How far this is all possible? Because already we are number 121 out of 163 countries in the world. We are far behind in achieving these sustainable development goals. Children, we start teaching you wrong right from school. I always ask children, you know, like, because, you know, schools teachers would have told you, you know, what is the difference between living, non-living? Definitely, right? They would have told you. And they would have told you air. Air is non-living. Yes, I accept air is non-living. What are we? Living. Yes, we are living. But if I remove the non-living air from my body, what will I become? Non-living. This relationship is never told to our students. Water is non-living. We are living. Remove the non-living water from my body, I become non-living. Right? This relationship between living and non-living, between the abiotic and the biotic parameters, is very important. And in Indian culture, we also include the space and the fire, and we call it as the Panchbhutas. The most important question I generally ask children, especially even elders, teachers, who will eat more? Will an elephant eat more, or will a dog eat more? The general idea, perception, looking at the person's or individual size, we always feel that the elephant eats more than the dog. Yes. Today you start thinking about it, children, because if I take the weight of an animal like an elephant to be 5 tons and a dog to be 20 kilos, an elephant, if I am going to give fodder for the elephant, then maximum I can give is 50 kgs. And dog, if I want to give meat, maximum I can give will be 1 kg. Food or medicine is always calculated based on body weight. So 5,000 kg elephants eats 50 kg means 1 kg weight of the elephant eats how much? Simple, 10 grams. If 20 kg dog eats 1 kg meat, then 1 kg weight of the dog eats how much? 50 grams. So who is eating more? Dog is eating more. Is that clear, Raja? I hope you are all clear, children. Dog is eating more than an elephant. That's the reason why it happens is the elephant is in this position and it eats the fodder directly, which fixes the energy. Whereas dog eats the meat of an animal which has eaten the fodder. Somebody's mic is disturbing. Can you please switch off? Somebody's mic is disturbing.
Mute your mic, Mr. Vinod.
Kindly switch off your mic, please.
Mr. Vinod Kumar. Vinod Kumar.
Mr. Vinod Kumar, can you please switch off your mic, please? Thank you, Raja. Right? So, because dog is eating the flesh of an animal which has eaten the grass, which fixes the energy. So, if you go into different trophic levels, you tend to eat more. That is the reason why all Asian countries, we are predominantly vegetarians. You go to any non-vegetarian restaurant and ask for a meal, non-vegetarian meal. What would you get? You will get rice, which is plant-based, paratha or puri or chapati, which is plant-based. You will get sambar, rasam, more, kootu, tuvayal, avayal, all those things, right? They are all plant-based. Only in a small container, you will get 2 pieces of meat or 2 pieces of chicken or 2 pieces of fish. So predominantly, our food cycle is based on plant-based derivatives. That is where this term started becoming common. The meaning of this term ECO, eco means home. Please remember home, H-O-M-E, home. In this context, home is the earth, the whole earth. If I study the earth or if I study the home, it is called as ecology. If I evaluate the home, then it is economy. Logy means study, nomi means numbers. The problem today is a clash between ecology and economy. And in this, what burns is ecology because people want money. Now, when this happens, our biodiversity is very important for us on one side. And biodiversity, India is very rich in biodiversity. Whether it is trophic systems or whether you look at the plant systems, you get enormous amount of biodiversity. And within each variety, you take tomatoes, we have several varieties. You take lady's finger okra, which have different varieties, right? We all know that. We all know that. There are so many varieties. So many varieties. The problem is we used to eat everything. Yes, children, we used to eat everything. When Britishers came in, they gave new names like cowpea, pigeon pea, chickpea, horse gram. And we started mistaking. Horse gram, you wouldn't believe we used to eat. Maybe Dr. Paneerselvam would have been using it at his homes. It is actually cold. But what we get a feeling is only a horse is supposed to eat it, right? Chickpea will you eat? Only chicken is supposed to eat. But whenever you go to the beach, you buy sundal. Sundal is made from chickpea. So when you relate these animal names, cowpea, pigeon pea, chickpea, horse gram, we started mistaking that this is meant for the animals and they started moving away from our food systems. We had so many varieties of animals. Children, please be very, very attentive on all this, which is very important for us. And this is where the problem started. Our native cattle is Bos indicus. The Western cattle is Bos taurus. You know Taurus, the bull in the zodiac sign. The bull is called as a Taurus, right? And ours is indicus. The difference mainly you will find is, in the case of our animals, you will find a hump. There is no hump in the case of Western cattle. And our animals will have a sort of a curve at the back, whereas here it will be slightly raised and flat. So when you look at it carefully, those who are know Tamil will really enjoy it. If you call this as Desi, then this becomes Desi. Can you please switch off your mics, please?
Mr. Vinod Kumar.
Mr. Vinod Kumar, sir, you can remove them in case they are not listening to you.
Yeah, please switch on.
Yeah,
Switch on
you
your
can switch off.
yeah.
You can switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's muted.
right.
Yes.
Right. Now, on one side, our government has said that we want to protect the cows. The United Nations says biodiversity should be protected. But on the other side, please remember this term, Bellsville sperm sexing technology is being introduced. Now, what is Bellsville sperm sexing technologies? We don't want bulls. We don't want bulls. We want only cows. That's what people feel. So when you want only cows, the new system is you collect the sperms from the bull, and we all know, we have studied in schools, that in the case of mammals, males produce two types of sperms, the Y and the X, whereas females produce only the X ovum. The X sperm fertilizes becomes a female, the Y sperm fertilizes, it becomes a male. So what they would do is they would take a centrifuge, they will separate the sperms, and all the Y sperms will be thrown out, and only X containing sperms will be converted for artificial insemination, which means in the course of time, we will not have cows, we will not have bulls, only cows, and everybody should go to the hospital or veterinary centers to impregnate the cows.
Please come.
Okay. Now, these sex sperms have already been started to be prepared in India now, but unfortunately, we don't have the Indian semen. So we are going to get a lot of crossbreeds. And then you come into chicken industry. These chicken were our own native chicken, but we have concentrated on this white chicken. We call it as a broiler or the leghorn. These leghorns, once upon a time, in 70 days, they were slim and smart. Today, in 48 days, they are not able to carry their weight because of the incorporation of a lot of hormones and antibiotics in the feed. And what scientists now are trying is in 35 days, they want to produce that size. Can you understand what is happening? When we talk about sustainability, it is not just garbage. I have to correct your thinking. Please start thinking very wide. Starts right from our food where we are trying to mix up things. You go into fish. We have our own freshwater fishes. And within this, we have different niche. That is, Katla is surface feeder, Rohu is column feeder, Mrigal is bottom feeder. And then we have our own sea fish, Kadalmeen. We have pomfrets, seals, mackerels, sardines. We have varieties. In spite of it, today we are importing fish because it is cheap. Now, this is Keliti, that is catfish. Grown in Indonesia and Thailand. The skin is removed, the bone is removed. They are slightly brownish in color, pinkish brown in color. They add chemicals to make it white. And then they export it in the form of a complete ice pack. This ice pack comes into Chennai, and in Chennai, this particular, of course, in all the states and all the cities which you are talking about, I'm talking my personal experience here. In Chennai, this fish costs around 300 rupees a kilo, whereas our traditional fish costs around 600 to 800 rupees a kilo. Can you please switch off the mic? I humbly request. Otherwise, I'll stop. I'm going to stop this lecture.
Vinod Kumar.
I am going to stop this lecture, sir.
The mic.
Let the masters, you can stop it. Who is this Mr. Vinod Kumar? Are you not sensitive? Oh my God.
Sorry, sir.
Why don't you remove him?
Why you are
You remove him from there.
Sorry, sir.
The
Not
pressure
Vinod.
cooker is making the noise. The family is making the noise.
Mute it first. Mute it first, Vinod Kumar.
How many times should he be told, sir? Unfortunately, this is bought from the market. It is thawed and finally is served in this beautiful way. So people mistake that it's called as basa. Please be very careful when you go to the. This all comes under sustainability. So, sir, should I eat fish or should I not eat fish? Go to the hotel, order for a full fish or order for a slice of fish which has bones in it. These are the things which lead to sustainability of our country, right? Why I'm trying to tell you these things, children, is supposing I talk about the tiger because it's a national animal. Now, this tiger, for example, one tiger eats one deer. One deer. it will not eat another deer for 1 week. For sake of easy calculation, I'm using it, right? Oh my God. Sir, who is this Vinod Kumar, sir?
I think Vinod Kumar can be removed. Dr. Zarina. Dr. Zarina, I remove Vinod, but don't admit her.
Remove, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now, this tiger, supposing it eats one deer, it is not going to eat another deer for about 1 week, which means if there is not one tiger in the forest, there are several tigers. So if it is taking one deer per week, it requires 52 deers per year. Now, if it requires 52 deers per year, there should be 520 deers in the forest. If there should be 520 deers in the forest, there should be 5,200 acres of land on which good soil should be there, good fodder should be there. Because only if there's a good soil which supports good fodder, then the deer will multiply and the tiger will feed on it. We are not concerned about the soil. We are not concerned about the fodder. We are not concerned about the deer, but we want Project Tiger. I hope you understand how systems work. The same thing is with our elephants. I think children from Tamil Nadu will know about Chinnathambi's experience, the human-animal conflict. Now, this Chinnathambi doesn't walk alone. You know, these elephants, they require at least 1 square kilometer area every day to go around, to eat, to drink water and come back 1 square kilometer per elephant. Now, if you look at it, elephants don't go equally, individually. They go as a group. They walk through. Just like when we go for in colleges in tour, the teacher turns around and says, come on, next batch, come fast, right? The same way, the whole huge belt of animals. This is called as the elephant corridor. Now, what we have done culturally or by habit is, as human anthropocentric approach, we have constructed walls across. So, their corridors. It was their corridor. We have constructed the wall. There is a human-animal conflict. This is what is a corridor, animal corridor, and this is what means human-animal conflict. Now, apart from that, because you come in close contact with the animals, certain diseases move from animals to human beings. These are called as zoonoses or zoonotic diseases. Like COVID came from the bats, so it is a zoonotic disease. Now, this used to happen until in Chennai Zoo, one lion died because of COVID infection from human beings. That is called as anthroponosis. So a new branch has opened up. Initially, it was zoonosis, animals to human beings. Now from human beings to animals, which is anthroponosis. That's cattle, right? We all know cattle. When you look at cattle, once upon a time, it was part of our agriculture system. We used to prepare these cow dung cakes. We used to prepare manure. And then we had our own biogas plants. And with biogas plants came this the tractor. The moment the tractor came, we said, we don't want animals. We don't want animals. That is the greatest mistake which happened during the Green Revolution. Now, once we removed the animals, tractor does not drop dung, right? Tractor does not give us a dung. When we use cattle and when we plowed the soil, please watch carefully. When we plowed the soil started coming up for aeration. When we use heavy machinery, compaction started in specific zones of the soils. When compaction happened, air escaped from the soil. When air escaped, organisms started perishing in the soil. This is all you must understand for sustainability, Raja. Please understand the concepts, right? Right, children? Now, when you look at a tree gives me all these things, Karna. All these things. And tree, when it gives these things, we call it as 21st March, International Day of Forests. The moment every year, what they say is, green cover should be 33% average. 33%. The moment you say this, somebody, NGO or some department will say Miyawaki forest. Miyawaki forest cannot replace regular forest. Miyawaki forest can be done in a small college campus where they have a small area. They don't have much place. They can do whatever they want. But Miyawaki forest cannot replace a forest. Please understand the concepts. And immediately the department people, when you ever go to the forest department or horticulture, what they would say is, sir, if I have to look at green cover from the satellite, the quick growing tree, we can use casuarina and teak. We can use casuarina and teak. Casuarina is sauka and teak is teak, right? Now, yes, they will look green, But when they drop their asparagus, the leaf litter, it doesn't decompose immediately. So you children must remember that if I have to grow a tree, it should also give nutrition to the soil. It is not just green cover. It should be beneficial to the soil. The root exudate is very important for the soil. That is the reason why in our culture, we always try to support naval padam, that is jamun. These particular fruits, like even when you go into the old stories of Hinduism, you know that, Lord Muruga asks Avayar as to Sutta Padam or Sudada Padam is also naval padam, because the litter where this falls over there into the soil, microorganisms multiply very much and earthworms flourish. The same way you also have this magijam, Mimosops LNG. Now, these type of plants, which also have small, beautiful fruits coming in them, birds get attracted. So when birds come over there, they eat the fruits and they put their droppings. That is very rich in lots of nutrients, especially phosphates. So all these uric acids, phosphates, nitrates, everything combines, enriches the soil. So plant means not just green cover. Plant means a holistic system. Please be very clear, children, right? And we always think that trees produce most of the oxygen. You may also have that in mind. Yes, trees produce a lot of things. No, Raja. Actually, sea produces more oxygen. Sea produces more oxygen than the trees. Oceans, they have a lot of phytoplankton. And these phytoplankton produce a lot of oxygen. The problem will happen with climate changes. More carbon dioxide is evaporated. This carbon dioxide gets mixed with water. It will become carbonic acid. That will affect the pH of the seawater. When pH gets affected, the phytoplankton will get affected, oxygen production will get affected. It's a huge system which I want you children to understand. Yes, be very clear, Raja, very clear. And once we cut the trees, it's a barren land. And when rain falls, all the soil gets eroded. Children, please understand that it takes almost 250 to 400 years to develop 1 inch of topsoil. To develop 1 inch of topsoil, 250 to 400 years. Now this topsoil completely goes away. That's the reason, please understand. People say there is drought. Drought doesn't prepare bare ground. It is bare ground that causes drought. There's a lot of fallow land running around. We are not concerned about any of those things. We are just talking. That's the reason I always say that all these themes which are released by the United Nations every year, they are just themes, not getting converted into actions. Soil, I have worked a lot of research on soil. My main basic, I'm a soil biologist. I always create a fun, Raja. In class 5, my teacher said, maths teacher said, because I never understood mathematics. So my maths teacher said that, Ismail, you have only clay in your head. Mandala Kaliman irukkunnu. It was good that he said, I became a soil biologist, right? So, when you look at the soil, I have characterized the soil with all the systems. Because of limited time, I'm not going to the details. But please understand, children, I have described the various systems present like in a living system for the soil. But the highlight was when one university professor asked me, does soil have a brain? Can soil think? Now, children, if I dig a pit and put any of this litter material, dry leaves, cow dung, etc., what will happen? You all know it will get decomposed, right? But if I put a seed, it will germinate. Soil knows what it has to decompose, what it has to germinate. Such a beautiful soil should have organic matter in it. The national organic matter for our country's average is 2% to 5%. Now, who came back again now? Can't some people remain without talking, please? Organic matter should be 2% to 5%. Unfortunately, our national average is 0.5%. And Tamil Nadu average, according to government, is 0.68%. According to me as a soil biologist, it ranges from 0.2 to 0.8%. So places like Madurai, Theni and all, it's only 0.2, 0.25%. Organic matter has to improve. Manvasanai, mitti ki khushbu. This has to improve. We has to improve. What has happened is we started concentrating on soil fertility. Soil fertility, you take your soil, give it to any analytical laboratory, they will analyze, they will tell you so much of N, so much of P, so much of K. nitrogen, phosphate, potash. Then they will say PHEC. Then they will show 4 or 6 micronutrients. They don't stop with that. They also give recommendation. Add so much of urea, so much of DAP, so much of potash. So soil fertility got related with fertilizers. There's a reason why we don't talk about soil fertility. We talk about soil health, which is a holistic approach. Whether earthworms are there, what is the microbial population, what is the fragrance of the soil, aura, aroma, everything. And because soil is completely depleted of nutrients, children, this you must listen carefully. You know, like when a pregnant lady is there, and the baby in the uterus has to grow healthy, will we inject nutrients to the baby? No. We will give good food for the mother. So if the plant has to grow healthy, we have to give good food to the soil, which is the mother. But instead, the union government has already decided that we will not take care of the soil, but we can amend the food after harvest, and that is called as fortified food. Please be very clear, children, that today in the country, rice is taken to factories where it is powdered, and after powdering, they add B6, B12 and iron, and again create it in the shape of rice. And for 1 kg of that rice, 99 kgs of regular rice is added and is sent to many children and many families to eat because there is iron deficiency in the country. Right? Now, this is called as fortified food. I will not go into many discussions about this, but please learn what it is. And we in India, we use a lot of chemicals, both as fertilizers and pesticides. And every government in Asia, this is not just India, the whole government in Asia, they say that our production has increased. But if you go and ask a farmer per acre or per ton, after 2000, our production has decreased, right? And moreover, all these chemicals have gone into drinking water. Yes, drinking water. Even nitrates or pesticides, all those things. And here is a train which goes every day. From Bathinda in Punjab to Bikaner in Rajasthan. Carrying not less than 100 farmers every day, suffering with cancer. And this train is called as a Cancer Express. You can Google for Cancer Express. So is it safe to eat and drink this? Fine. On the other side, we are producing a lot of waste. And that's where this term came in, Vermitech, of earthworm biotechnology. These are our traditional worms. Earthworms are of 3 types. I will not go into the details, but just generally know that they are surface, subsurface, bottom living. Just remember that way. Surface, subsurface, bottom living. Subsurface are the one which are very important, create burrows in the soil. These are our native worms. These are the worms which are today used for vermicomposting. This is how a worm works. It eats the food. These are the gizzards which crush the food. The food is digested. And as the food enters the intestine, there are nephridia in each segment. Nephridia are kidney-like structures. They pour in a lot of urea inside. So nitrogen, that is urea, and carbon combines together and you get beautifully created vermicompost. That is why it's vermicompost. Earthworms are hermaphrodites. That means every earthworm has both male and female, but they require a partner to mate. But after mating, they produce cocoons. And from this cocoon, the young earthworm comes out like this. Yes, you can do vermicomposting. Only thing is you have to remove the heat from the material and then include the worms and keep a cow dung cake on top. They start multiplying. Our people are experts in making cow dung cakes, right? But after making this, please understand economics. Please understand economics. With difficulty, this lady is making, sells it for 10 rupees a cake, and it is being sold by big companies at 140 rupees a cake. Please understand what is happening between ecology and economy. Right, children? And that is vermicompost. always remember, children, when you write your notes or whenever you're writing about this Swachh Bharat or whatever it is, please remember that greener the leaf, nitrogen is more, drier the leaf, carbon is more. The ratio should be 30:1. These are all carbon materials. These are all nitrogen materials. I'm glad it is being recorded. You can see it later also. Stop it and read it comfortably. That's the reason why nature always drops not just dry leaves, but also green leaves in a forest. Because that combination improves microorganisms. That is nature. Beautiful nature. This is how we create a sort of a composting pile. We just put material, which is shred already, to a height of about 10 inches or so. Then we add dilute.
9,000 pages. We are paying 2 rupees each, 18,000. And the stationery.
Your own office is doing it, sir. We add diluted cattle dung and then create a sort of a heap. And then we loosely keep it covered. Now, internal heat is generated. Great heat is generated. This heat can go to around 59 to 62 degrees Celsius. This is very important for us because this heat destroys unwanted pathogens, unwanted pests, and unwanted seeds. And after 15 days or so, we turn it over when steam is produced. And then the whole heap in about 30 to 45 days comes down. We cool it, pass it through a coarse sieve, give it to the worms eat it, and then they make it into vermicompost, which we find seaweed, and the vermicompost is ready. Very simple systems. Lots of simple systems are there. But I'm worried about certain things. I'm worried because there is some company coming and saying that we can make compost in 1 week by making big incubators, electricity, oxygen will be pumped in, which is all rubbish. In 1 week, you cannot produce compost. And the other people are still more. They say that in 24 hours, they will produce compost. These are all just burning systems which reduce the volume. They are not compost. It is the end material is not compost. Be careful. If at all you want to write, to promote in 24 hours, I have an excellent system. If you really want to have something, if you have a market waste, green waste, give it to the cows. Next day morning, you will get dung. Dung can easily be handled. Is that clear? Right. Children, sustainability with seeds. I told you they want to protect biodiversity according to Sustainable Development Goals. But when you look at the seeds, so many seeds we use at home itself. And our native seeds are called as heirloom seeds. Please remember that. No more traditional seeds. They are called as heirloom seeds. And even these seeds are nowadays coming colored. You go and buy from the market, you will find them as blue colored, red colored, pink colored. Now this color is because of neonicotinoids. One of the nasty 5th generation toxic chemical, which is a neurotoxic substance. Not the crops which grow out of it. I'm worried about my farmers who will be using it and by mistake using their fingers in their mouths. Right? These are neonicotinoids. We have found out alternatives which we have successfully tried on field situations. Once upon a time, there were farmers' seeds. Today, politics, companies have entered. We are moving from biodiversity to genetic slavery. And there's a conflict between hybrids and GMOs. Hybrid is mango hybrid, lemon hybrid. GMO, genetically modified organisms. Totally unrelated gene from an unrelated organism is being introduced. Please be very clear, children. Please be very clear. For us, food is medicine. It is only for the Western world, they want medicine in food. We don't require it. We don't require it in India. But unfortunately, due to certain policies, we wanted to import golden rice. We fought against it. Then they wanted BT cotton. BT stands for Bacillus thuringiensis, not biotechnology. Please remember, in case you are writing an examination, BT stands for Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a type of bacteria, right? Now, people said it's non-edible. Is it non-edible? No. You go down south, Tamil Nadu, in Madurai, you have Parthipal, cotton seed milk. You also have halwa, which is created in Nagur, Nagapattinam area. At the same time, seeds, you take the oils, cotton seed oil. The cake is given to the cows and we drink the milk. So it is edible. And then they wanted to bring in katrika, brinjal. One variety brinjal for the whole country when India has more than 60 varieties now growing. And Tamil Nadu has more than 22 varieties now growing. Right? And now they're jumping into mustard. Please be very clear about how, on one side, we are talking about by 2030 genetic diversity. On the other side, it's all entirely different. Try to analyze both. I will not give you any leadership into it. My own views are different. But you people have your own views developed, children, when you write. You are doing a wonderful course through the IGNOU program, which is a wonderful system. And as Dr. Panniselvam said, my college was one of the pioneers to have a center over there where I worked, where I also studied. Now, this mustard was introduced as a hybrid, Dhara mustard hybrid. So farmers get confused as Dhara mustard hybrid. Yes, it is a hybrid, but hybrid of genetically modified organism. So how backdoor entry of things come in, and we try to fight against it. I fight against it. And I want to tell you that I'm not against the technology because I'm a former head of the Department of Biotechnology. We are not against technology. Technology is a wonderful technology, but technology is something like a knife. With a knife, you can peel a potato or you can kill a person, right? So we don't require this technology in our own food, which is not required. So what will happen? There'll be a conflict between biodiversity and biotechnology. Biodiversity will make all the judo, karate, hoo-ha. Biotechnology will shoot it down. These are all biopolitics, Raja. I think as you grow up, you will learn about all this. In the same way, we have to conserve water, and maximum water comes from our washing machine and from our bathroom, where we use only soap. This soap water can easily be treated by this sort of small chambers, which are called as constructed wetlands. You can refer later, constructed wetlands or DWAT systems. We grow plants in them, like Canna indica, Kalvadai in Tamil, right? We use Phragmites or Colocasia or Canna. So once the soap water falls in, the soap water passes through it, and phosphate solubilizing microorganisms which multiply over there are able to convert them into available phosphate. So PO4 becomes P2O5, and it's an excellent fertilizer for the plants, natural fertilizer now, and it starts going to the gardens. The plants will grow much healthier. One more thing which is very important for us, because our own food, how sustainable it is. Today we are eating a lot, but undernourished. So from today, please remember, children, always remember the national flag. I always refer to this to easily remember it. Our first color is saffron or orange. Take something of that color every day. It can be carrot, papaya, mango, or tomato, beetroot, whatever it is, which is slightly orangish, reddish colored. Second color is white, especially women. Take calcium. Milk is the easiest source. If you're a vegan, take something different. The third color is green. Green colored vegetables. Unfortunately, you go to any restaurant today and then you ask, bhai, kya sabzi hai? And he tells paneer saab. I don't know when paneer became a vegetable. I'm not against paneer, but green colored vegetables alone have fiber. The chakra is blue in color. Right from childhood, we have been painting the water blue. And how many lines in the chakra, children? I know that you are trying to murmur yourself 24. In 24 hours, follow our national flag. We don't require any food from any part of the world. That's the beauty. And you think that these two are going to solve our problem? Impossible. Can you please stop them? Yeah, thank you. Sweets, when we were young, and even when Dr. Panniselvam was young, when we buy it and keep it on the table, within about 2 hours, you will get ants. Today, you buy it and keep it for 2 weeks, ants don't come over. Because there's no sugar, there's aspartame. It's a chemical. It's a chemical. And you children go to the restaurant, after food, you ask for this so-called saunf, which is very good. And when the waiter is not there, you also take the tissue paper and you put something into it and keep it in the pocket, right? But these are all full of aspartame and saccharin. It is not real saunf. Please be very clear. Color in food is also not sustainable. So sustainability in ecology doesn't mean pollution. Please change your view. It starts from your home. Color in food. If orange is this color, why is bottled juice red in color? Why? Hey, all the so-called opened up peas which come into the market are completely colored, right? And new hormone is coming up in the market. Recombinant bovine growth hormone, RBGH. Now, what does this hormone do? You inject it to the cow, you can take all the milk out. You can make money out of it, yes. But in about 3 to 3.5 years, the cow will develop mastitis of the udder disease. and then the cow is useless. This is on one side. On the other side, in rural areas where there is no pasteurization taking place, the children, girl children drinking this milk will attain puberty at the age of 7 or 8. The whole hormonal system will become imbalanced. This is what has happened. Please watch this video carefully. It is in Tamil. For those who don't understand Tamil, just born female calf from a cow is giving half a liter of milk.
இருந்ததை கண்டு அதை பார்த்தபோது அதில் பால் சுரப்பது தெரிய வந்தது. அதன் பின்னர் பால்மடியில் பால் கலந்து பார்த்தபோது 1/2 லிட்டர் வரை பால் கிடைத்தது. இது குறித்து கால்நடை மருத்துவர்களிடம் கேட்டபோது ஹார்மோன் பிரச்சனையால் மிக அரிதாக.
I hope you understand. Same thing, sustainability again. Heavy metals in circulation. The so-called Varh sweets. Most of the sweets, this is not my slide. This is from Industrial Toxicology Research Center, Lucknow, Government of India. Most of the shops which are selling these sweets, it's not real silver. It's a combination of 5 heavy metals: nickel, lead, copper, chromium, cadmium. Kidney is gone. Kidney is gone. Plastics, children, please be very careful. Please be very careful. First, many people say, don't use plastic, zero plastic. I don't believe in that word, because at this point of time, it is only judicious use of plastic. We can avoid single-use plastic. Out of this, 6 varieties of plastic were defined. Now 7th is any other plastic. Any other plastic. So there is no restriction. So bisphenol A comes into circulation. Bisphenol A or BPA. Feeding bottles are coming with plastic number 7. Be careful when you buy these things. Any good plastic you buy, you may ask me, sir, how do I know which number it is? Any good company, if you take the bottles, turn them down on the bottom or on the label or somewhere, you will find this sort of a triangle and the number written. You see, number 1 is PET. Number 2 is HDPE, high density polyethylene. Number 5 is polypropylene, PP. So all this will be written. This is plastic number 7. If you are buying a plastic number 7 product, there should be a declaration BPA free. If you are buying a feeding bottle and if you notice it, there is plastic number 7, on the cover they should have written bisphenol A free. Otherwise, don't buy it. There are some companies which are cheating us. There's a triangle, there's no number inside. These are all recycled plastics. Please be very careful. This is what is sustainability, children. Please understand sustainability properly. You know, styrofoam packing, thermocol, what we call it as. In thermocol, you can eat an ice cream, no problem. You can keep biscuits and eat. You can keep bread and eat. But if you keep any hot food, then there will be leaching out from it. Any food, you will find the impression of the food coming in, which means styrene goes into the food and you are eating poison. You are eating poison. Microplastics, horrible. Plastics were at least, you can see them. Microplastics are coming in toothpaste and shampoos. All those who are watching today, please stop buying toothpaste and shampoos which contain microplastic. And also tell your friends. Because this microplastic initially was declared by BBC. But today, Chennai water has microplastics. Salt has microplastic. Fish has microplastic. Fruits and vegetables have microplastic. Chennai air has microplastic. The worst is, again, this is in Tamil news, but children who don't understand Tamil, microplastic has been recovered from placenta, which connects between the mother and the baby.
அண்மையில் நடந்த மருத்துவ ஆராய்ச்சியில் தாய் சேயை இணைக்கும் நஞ்சுக்கொடியில் நுண்ணெகிழி துகள்கள் கண்டுபிடிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது அதிர்ச்சியை ஏற்படுத்தியுள்ளது. உலகிலேயே பாதுகாப்பான இடம் என்று நினைக்கும் தாயின் கருவறையும் பிளாஸ்டிக் துகள் விட்டு வைக்கவில்லை.
So even there, right, microplastic for the first time has been found in human blood and now in human breast milk. Children, this is ecology I want you to understand. Textbooks don't have this still. So please understand, children. That's the reason why when Dr. Zarina said, can you please talk? I said, I'll be happy to share my opinion with children. Because these things have not yet come into your books. Please, children, because today, health industry is not bothered about our food and our food industry is not bothered about our health. And immediately people, like in one of the meetings recently, I don't want to name the departments and places, somebody said, sir, we are going to have all e-vehicles very shortly. What are we going to gain out of e-vehicles? You may feel that this is polluting the atmosphere and e-vehicle will be good. But e-vehicle is concentrating pollution elsewhere, where we are generating it. Have we found out solutions for it? I'm not talking out of my head because I was one of the committee members from the Green Tribunal to go and inspect here in Ennore. The amount of fly ash which comes over there. Even plants growing over there have a lot of heavy metals in them. The fish, everything growing over there has heavy metals in them. So children, if you're going to shift from somewhere it is going to concentrate. So we must, whenever you write an article, you must say that whatever technology is developed, there should be a mechanism to see to it that it doesn't pollute the environment. So that loop should get closed. Western countries have already started doing it, but they're also cheating us. Most of the European and Western countries, what they do is they ask India or Bangladesh or Pakistan or Sri Lanka or Philippines to prepare the material so that the pollution is there and they get the finished product. Are you able to get my point, children? Please be very careful. This is what has happened in Ennore. This was a school building where only the terrace is visible now. Everything is suppressed. Everything has been covered with fly ash. So children, remember always that we are able to see elephants, but we are not able to see earthworms. It's better that we bring the worms back into the soil, because today when it rains, water does not enter inside. Once worms make these channels, they'll be able to water, the rains will be able to enter and also enrich our waters. But if you have to do all this work, you must have patience, children. Today, even if you walk quietly, there is somebody to push you down. Yeah. So be careful in your life, walk clearly. And children, whatever course you are studying, don't worry. I could never understand maths and chemistry in my life. Both these subjects, I could not. And many people in their lives feel that they should have become a doctor or an engineer or a UPSC or some sort of a services, whatever it is. And many people or families also feel that otherwise you are a disgrace to the family. Please never have that in your mind. If you have that sort of an opinion that am I a disgrace that I'm going to do this course through ignore whatever it is, children, then you have been listening to a disgrace for the past 45 minutes, right? I did my zoology. But the greatest reward of my research is many children today read about my work in the textbooks. I was the one who coined the term Vermitech for the world. So children, don't worry about what you study, how you study. And children today in this new books, which state board children you are reading, they read about me in their books. I don't think there's a greater award than this, right? So don't bother about what you're studying. Study well. Study well. Never give up on education, knowledge. Don't rely on information. Rely on knowledge. Google gives you information. Knowledge is something which you perceive. Children, concentrate on knowledge. This was the first meeting of organic farming in India. That is Bernard in Auroville. That is I who conducted the program with him. And that is Namalwar who came and joined us. And we all three were friends since then, right? These were our first programs of teaching people on vermicomposting, 91-92, awareness, and the old television sets with the programs. That's the first program in India where I gave the procedure to the world. 92, 95, prepared vermiwash. 99, now people talk about terrace gardening. I started terrace gardening in 1999. So children, you do whatever you want. Only one thing, please remember, Raja, please remember. It rains and the rain is falling on the soil. Whom does this water belong to? You may say, sir, soil. But if you take a pot and keep it there and collect water, now whom does that water belong to which is in the pot? You may say, sir, me, because I have kept the pot. But then if I tell you, I gave you the pot, now whom does the water belong to? Do you have an answer? You will hesitate. You will hesitate. Adiyapudi, I have collected the water. How can I give it to you, sir? The pot alone belongs to you, sir. You will argue, right? Please remember, children, our farmers, their land, their work, their labor. Some corporates are trying to invest money and say that everything belongs to them. I will not go more critical because this is a general platform. But please start thinking. But children, don't get carried away with any of the guides. You are the best scientist. You must analyze. Some may say permaculture is best. Some may say biodynamic is best. Some may say sustainable is best. Some may say natural is best. Some may say organic is best. But what we want is non-synthetic, chemical, non-poisonous farming. There's the reason why I was also party to this policy development. Government of Tamil Nadu has already released the organic farming policy. We are going to have a lot of work going on towards organic farming. Children, before I close, I strongly believe in these words of Tagore. With every child that is born comes a message that God is not yet disappointed with man. So let us do our best and leave behind a healthy environment for the children who are yet to come. All for Earth's sake. All of you children, please remember my humble request to you. You have your fingerprint, right? You all know that everybody has an individual fingerprint. Nobody has a similar fingerprint like you, right? Leave a fingerprint on this world before you go. Work hard. Prove yourself what you are. That's our view. But who cares? இதுக்கெல்லாம் ட்ரைனிங் எல்லாம் வேண்டாம் ராஜா. வாட் யூ ரிக்வயர் இஸ் எஃபர்ட். இதுக்கெல்லாம் பயிற்சி வேண்டாம், முயற்சி தான் முக்கியம். ஓகே, ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட், குட் லக் டு யூ. தேங்க்ஸ் வெரி மச். அண்ட் I think I have taken, because the introduction went to about 15 minutes, I had to be a bit fast. And because it was 3 to 4, I managed to complete by 4:10. Thank you very much for this opportunity. There are some questions, I'll be happy to answer you.
Thank you, sir. It is very informative, very interesting, very knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I think largely we have benefited by your excellent presentation, and now we can ask the students, the other participants.
Before you end, children, don't ask for my presentation. They have recorded it. They'll be sending you the link. Please stop asking for presentation, because this is a high volume presentation. It is hyperlinked and it is being done, and I don't use PowerPoint. It is a different software. So I already started seeing here, send me the presentation. This is a very bad habit. Very bad habit. Whenever a resource person makes a presentation, please don't demand for the presentation. There's a reason why our university has made a system where they record and they will send you the link. So it's going to be with you. So please don't demand presentations from resource people. Thank you.
Dr. Zarina, we can invite those who have raised their hands.
Yes, sir. Students, whoever want to interact with our professor, please come forward.
Yeah, no, there are some students have raised, some participants have raised their
Punita Biotech.
Punita. Please come online, ma. Punita. Punita, please unmute your mic and speak.
Unmute and speak, Punita.
Or you can write in the chat box, ma, if you have any difficulty.
Yeah, Punita, you can write in the chat box. I'll just read it out. No problem.
You can ask others, quickly ask questions.
Anybody else? Momita Das, please come online.
Thank you very much. And I'm Dr. Momita Das from National Center for Innovations in Distance Education at IGNOU, New Delhi.
Very happy to know it, ma'am.
Thank you. And I congratulate Dr. Paneerselvam for organizing such a wonderful talk today. In fact, it has been a long time after which I've heard somebody of the stature of Professor Sultan Ismail. And I'm really happy that, you know, he has shared his life's experiences with us students here today. It is not just the subject that he has talked about. There are so many dimensions to what he has said, and the message that has given all of the students is simply far-reaching. And if they are suitably motivated, that would be, you know, the aim of today's talk would be met. But that only time will tell. But sir, I'm really privileged to listen to you, Sultan sir.
Thank you, Dr. Das. In fact, that was the aim with which IGNOU was started in those days.
True, sir.
Children who are not able to have access, or who are already employed even before they could grow old because of circumstances, will always have an opening and make a sort of impression in society.
True, sir. Definitely, sir. And really, I'm feeling so happy to listen to your talk today.
Very pleased to listen.
Thank you. And I would request Dr. Paneerselvam to put it on YouTube and send us the link here so that we can tweet the link and for everybody in India to see. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Punita, where are you from actually? You have said that you would like to communicate with your students. Why don't you try to unmute yourself? I think you can unmute and say a few words if you want. Yeah. Appande Rajan. Appande Rajan, assistant professor. Right.
Good evening, sir.
Punita, yeah. Tell me.
Sir, I'm from Salem, sir. I'm working in Shri Shakti Kailash Women's College. Your message was very, very useful, sir. And I'm feeling very happy to get a message from you like this. Shri Shakti Kailash Women's College.
I come to Salem often because I'm now president of the Gandhi School.
Oh, sure, sir. If possible, you can come to my college, sir.
If possible, you can come to your Gandhi Ashram.
Sure, sir. I will come.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Any other student?
Yeah, others can go ahead. Yeah. Others can go ahead. So feel free to ask questions.
No.
It's okay. Probably they may communicate later through email or whatever it is.
Yes, sir. So, before proposing vote of thanks, I first salute our Professor Sultan Ahmad Ismail, sir, for giving us such a wonderful presentation. I'm so happy that sir agreed to deliver this lecture. In seconds, he agreed. Actually, I approached sir in the last minute. Sir, I told the word, sir, you please come to my rescue. Please conduct this program. Sir readily agreed. I'm very thankful to you, sir, for delivering this lecture. I request our assistant registrar, sir, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Ismail, sir, for very informative, enriching presentation. And I would also thank our regional director, sir, senior regional director, sir, Dr. K. Panil, sir, for his informative presidential address. And I want to thank our ARD ma'am, Dr. Zarina, for conducting very informative webinar like this. And I want to thank all the participants who actively participated in this webinar. I want to thank you all. Thank you.
Madam Mahmood also there, can say.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to thank Dr. Das also for actively participating in this webinar.
Some coordinates present in the office to see this. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you, sir.
have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.